1. Which of the following is the best approach to adult learning in a corporate training setting? A. Providing detailed lectures without interruptions. B. Using hands-on activities that allow learners to apply concepts. C. Offering theoretical knowledge and avoiding real-world examples. D. Focusing only on rote memorization of facts. 2. When evaluating the effectiveness of a learning program, what is the primary consideration? A. The number of hours spent on training. B. The quality of the content delivered. C. The impact the program has on learner performance and outcomes. D. The number of participants involved. 3. In the context of curriculum development, which principle is most important? A. Keeping the curriculum length as short as possible. B. Structuring content to allow for easy memorization. C. Aligning learning objectives with measurable outcomes. D. Ensuring the curriculum is created by a single subject matter expert. 4. Which of the following communication techniques is most effective in fostering engagement in adult learners? A. Speaking in a monotone voice. B. Using complex jargon to demonstrate expertise. C. Encouraging open discussions and group interactions. D. Providing long, uninterrupted lectures. 5. Regulatory compliance in adult education requires A. Ensuring all instructors are certified in their subject area. B. Adhering to national or organizational standards for training and assessment. C. Providing students with unlimited access to all course materials. Avoiding any form of testing or assessment. 6. Mentoring in adult learning is best accomplished through A. A formal, structured approach with strict guidelines. B. Open, flexible conversations that address specific learner needs. C. Offering the same advice to all learners, regardless of context. D. Providing feedback only at the end of a course. 7. What is the most important aspect of designing a learning environment for adult learners? A. Providing distractions to keep learners engaged. E. Creating a safe, supportive, and respectful atmosphere. C. Minimizing collaboration among learners. D. Focusing solely on lecture-based delivery. 8. When conducting a needs assessment for a training program, which method is most effective? A. Relying solely on feedback from top management. B. Conducting surveys or focus groups with employees at all levels. C. Using external consultants without involving the learners. D. Analyzing past performance reviews without learner input. 9. Which of the following is an example of formative assessment? A. A final exam at the end of a course. B. Ongoing quizzes and feedback throughout a course. C. A certificate awarded at the end of the program. D. A peer evaluation conducted after the course. 10. How can a facilitator best accommodate diverse learning styles in a group of adult learners? A. Using a single teaching method that works for the majority. E. Ignoring learner preferences to focus on efficiency. C. Incorporating a variety of teaching methods to address different styles. D. Allowing each learner to work independently without any guidance. 11. In a mentorship relationship, what is the most effective way to provide constructive feedback? A. Offering feedback only when the learner asks for it. Providing feedback in a timely, specific, and supportive manner. C. Giving generic praise without focusing on improvements. D. Offering feedback only at the end of the mentorship. 12. Which learning model is most appropriate for adult learners who have practical, real-world experience? A. Behaviorism. B. Constructivism. C. Humanism. D. Connectivism. 13. What is the primary focus of adult learning theories? A. How children absorb information. B. The development of lifelong learning skills. C. The use of strict memorization techniques. D. The development of social skills. 14. Which is the best way to handle learner feedback during an ongoing course? A. Ignore feedback and proceed with the planned content. B. Collect feedback at the end and make minor adjustments. C. Integrate feedback regularly to adjust the course as needed. D. Provide a general feedback survey, but don't alter course material. 15. What is the main challenge in managing a diverse group of adult learners in a single training session? A. Ensuring that all learners receive the same content at the same pace. B. Ignoring the individual learning preferences of learners. C. Balancing different experience levels and learning needs. D. Focusing exclusively on learners with higher education levels. 16. When developing a learning objective for an adult training session, which of the following is most important? A. Making the objective broad and open-ended. Aligning the objective with measurable outcomes. C. Ensuring the objective is only relevant to the instructor's interests. D. Keeping the objective vague to allow flexibility. 17. In a workplace learning environment, the best method to evaluate knowledge retention is A. Asking learners to memorize key concepts. B. Conducting a test at the end of the course. C. Using case studies or practical applications to assess understanding. D. Having learners give presentations on what they learned. 18. The role of a mentor in an adult education setting should be to A. Teach the content without engaging with the learner's development. B. Provide guidance, support, and feedback throughout the learning process. C. Monitor learners' progress and punish mistakes. Avoid interacting with learners outside of formal training sessions. 19. Which of the following is most important when developing a curriculum for a corporate training program? A. Ensuring the content is standardized for all participants. B. Focusing on theoretical concepts without real-world applications. C. Aligning the curriculum with organizational goals and learner needs. D. Avoiding feedback from learners during the development process. 20. Which of the following is an example of summative assessment? A. A quiz given during a lesson to test understanding. B. A final project submitted at the end of the course. C. A written reflection on the learning process. D. A group discussion held during the training session. 21. When implementing an online learning platform for adults, which feature is most important for engagement? A. Frequent pop-up advertisements for additional courses. E. A cluttered interface with multiple distractions. C. A user-friendly interface that facilitates easy navigation. D. A single video presentation with no interactive components. 22. What is the most effective method for evaluating the success of a mentorship program? A. Surveying mentors about their experience only. B. Analyzing learner progress and growth through feedback. C. Collecting anecdotal evidence from participants without analysis. D. Focusing solely on completion rates of the mentorship. 23. How should adult learning programs be structured to maximize participation? A. Offering content with no regard for the learner's schedules. B. Allowing learners to choose the content that is most relevant to their goals. C. Focusing only on theoretical content, ignoring practical application. D. Mandating attendance without considering learner needs. 24. When designing a compliance training program, what is the best approach? A. Offering content that strictly adheres to legal requirements. E. Creating engaging, interactive content that is aligned with regulations. C. Focusing solely on the technical aspects of the regulations. D. Ignoring learner engagement in favor of completing legal obligations. 25. Which of the following is a core principle of the andragogy model? A. Adults need to be taught from an authoritative perspective. B. Adults are self-directed and need to see the relevance of learning. C. Adults prefer to learn through passive listening. D. Adults benefit from rigid and uniform training programs. 26. What is the best way to ensure the successful implementation of a new training program? A. Offering the program without any feedback mechanisms. B. Creating a clear, realistic implementation plan with support at all levels. C. Allowing learners to navigate the course without guidance. D. Focusing on content delivery and ignoring learner engagement. 27. How can facilitators best create a sense of community among adult learners? A. By encouraging collaborative learning and discussion groups. B. By limiting group interactions to avoid distractions. C. By focusing on individual assessments rather than teamwork. D. By using only one-on-one instruction throughout the course. 28. What is the primary function of a formative assessment? A. To evaluate overall program effectiveness at the end. B. To provide ongoing feedback to improve learning during the course. C. To award a certificate of completion at the end of the course. D. To evaluate the financial performance of the program. 29. Which is a key factor in maintaining learner engagement in an adult education setting? A. Keeping learners passive and avoiding interaction. B. Ensuring that learning activities are relevant to their real-world needs. C. Focusing only on theoretical concepts. D. Delivering content in a lecture format with minimal interaction.